1, 2, 3. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the backchat with the back doctor. My name is Dr. Oz. I'll be the host for this episode of the podcast. And with me, I have someone very, very special today. Someone that I'm very excited to share. He's an amazing doctor. He's an amazing chiropractor. And he's someone that I'm so excited to have on board today. So, giving you a bit of an introduction of what I know, Dr. Ben. His name's Dr. Ben, by the way. He's someone that has shown such a commitment to getting healthier outcomes for everyone that he looks after. So, Dr. Ben, welcome.
Thanks for hosting me on your debut episode. Love
It's
it.
exciting.
Happy to be here.
Couldn't think of anyone else to bring on but you first.
I'm really looking forward to this conversation. I think we're going to really open up some Pandora's boxes and really explore the ins and outs of the world of chiropractic.
I think we're going to go a lot deeper than that.
Love it. Love it. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
So, first of all, I've got a little list here that we can go through, but honestly, we can just run around and talk about whatever as well.
Nice.
So, first of all, I want people to know a bit more about you. And,
Nice.
you know, what originally brought you to chiropractic? What was your journey like?
Absolutely. I always find you always understand more about the message if you understand more about the messenger. Okay, so my background in chiropractic, before I got into chiropractic, I was actually a chef. So before I cracked backs, I was cracking eggs. And so I left school, year 12, and I started a chef apprenticeship. I was really into cooking. You know, I watched way too much Jamie Oliver when I was growing up. And I actually hurt my back really bad while I was in the kitchen one time and playing lots of rugby from being a teenager. And my sister at the time was seeing a chiropractor for headaches.
Okay.
And she's like, I tried everything under the sun. Went to the GP, went down the physio route, tried rehab. It didn't work for me. It actually made it worse. So I listened to my sister. She's like, go and see this chiropractor. Okay, his name's Dr. Ben, and he's really helping me with my headaches. And I'm like, chiropractors, don't really know too much about them. But any chance, I went along and went and saw this chiropractor. His name's Dr. Ben. I'm still good friends with. And, you know, in a couple of adjustments, he actually got rid of my chronic back pain, much to my amazement.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's the power of chiropractic right there.
And from then on, because I already had a career and I was always quite happy, from then on, I was very pulled into chiropractic. And over days, weeks, months of getting treated regularly, I noticed amazing changes in my health and my body. I woke up one morning and I said, you know what? I think I want to be a chiropractor.
So it was just like an instant
Yeah.
thought process?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was just this gut feeling, you know, do this. And I feel like I trusted as well. So, I went back to the chiropractor. I'm like, you know what, Ben, can I just come and do work experience with you? And just see a bit more about chiropractic, what it's really about. And I went back for a few shifts with him, and the more I was in his practice, the more I wanted to be a chiropractor. So after a while, I looked up the universities. I applied. I got into chiropractic, and I went from the chefing world into the world of chiropractic. 6 years later, here I am.
So before we get into how you came to be with us here at the Back Doctor, what I would actually like to know was that transition from going from being a chef and, you know, being a chef, you're working many hours. You develop this level of resilience. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know chefs usually yell at everyone.
I was a nice chef. Yeah.
But how was that transition for you, that change into like going back to uni and studying?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In high school, I really liked science. I really liked biology. I really liked the human body. But in year 11 and year 12, we could elect different units and subjects. I went down the cooking route, you know, watching Jamie Oliver, the Naked Chef on TV. At the same time, TAFE was starting up. It was really big, and they had commercial cookery available. So what I did is I signed up for commercial cookery in year 11 and year 12. Finished my chef apprenticeship within 2 years after I finished year 12, because I started studying at school, and I got pulled into it and went straight into my chef apprenticeship, did 3 years, and then became a fully qualified chef. The chefing industry is one of the toughest industries you can actually be in. So it's hot, It's stressful. It's physically demanding. Like as an apprentice chef, I was probably pushing anywhere from 50 to 100-hour weeks.
100.
Yeah. Getting paid minimum wage. Yeah.
Bruh.
Labor of love, though.
That's torture.
I actually didn't do it for the money at all. I just did it for the love and the passion.
Yeah.
And looking back in hindsight now, I wouldn't change what I've done. The path that I've been on, it's only maybe the person I am today.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah.
You've got this grit about you, this resilience about you, which is amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people, because it's not common for someone to jump ships between two very different industries a lot of the time. That's what I get told. But I'm not so average sometimes.
That's good.
To go from chefing into chiropractic, it's such a big change. But I felt it was the right decision to make. And people ask, would you have been a chiropractor when you left school? If you're such a successful chiropractor now and you're doing what you're doing now, you shouldn't have become a chef. I go, no, actually. I think a lot of who I am now is the development, the trials, the tribulations, the things I learn as a tradesperson, as a chef, that builds into the next career.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And, since then, you graduated and then you made the choice to come down and work with the back doctor. What was it about the back doctor's experience or its approach that made you really align with that?
Yeah, so I was on Chiro Classifieds, which is like the unofficial find a job for a chiropractor as a new grad, and I saw a beautiful ad written by the back doctor, and I remember seeing the ad, beautiful photos, beautiful clinic, really good benefits, really good mission statement. It all resonated with what I was looking for, which is a really vitalistic position as a chiropractor. And I just rang the number. I had call Dr. Bond. I rang it and I said, hey, my name's Dr. Bond. I just graduated from university. Would you consider hiring a new grad? Because I was like, this seems like a really great clinic. I think they're looking for a more experienced chiropractor. And he goes, yeah, no, I would actually. Yeah. Why don't you come down next week? Okay. We start at Monday. Why don't you get here at 6:30 and we'll go from there. We'll have your interview. And that was it. That was my first chat with Dr. Bond. And look, me being me, man of my word, drove down here first thing, Monday morning. This was 3 years ago now. And the rest is history. Met the team, had an introduction shift, and I was pretty much hooked from this moment I set in here. Yeah, and I was converted.
The fact that we do interviews so early in the morning is actually a really good test of character.
Yeah.
Because, if anyone else, listening to this podcast runs a business or, looking for great workers, a real test of character is just getting an interview early in the morning and finding those people willing to wake up and make the time and the energy and the effort to get here.
Yeah, it's kind of like tryouts, isn't it?
It's almost like the tryout before the tryout even begins.
Absolutely.
So seeing you come in was a beautiful thing as well. So
yeah,
you're a champion so far. So beautiful. Now let's actually get into the main topic of today,
of course,
which is really about aligning with excellence. And at the Back Doctor, we always approach things with like a high tech, high touch. It's usually a phrase that we use quite often with everyone that comes into the practice.
Yeah.
Coming back from your chef background, you got to make plates beautiful. You got to cook things to a level of standard. Working with us at the Back Doctor, being part of that team, that community, how have you seen that excellence sort of incorporate into the chiropractic world?
Absolutely. So the secret to being a very good chef or doing anything really well, perfection, is doing every little part or component of that said thing very, very, very well. So in fine dining, you want to do all the prep good, you want to plate it good, you want to serve it correctly, you want to have the best quality produce.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to the Back Doctor, the thing that makes us so unique and one of the leaders in healthcare in Australia is that we're a Michelin star healthcare clinic.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful premise, professional, clean. We have an awesome, professional, well-qualified team in different positions that makes sure that practice members, the healthcare service that each individual gets is amazing. And we also have the latest state-of-the-art technology as well to help deliver health delivery and also maintaining service and maintaining good outcomes for practice members.
Is that one of the things that really resonated with you?
100%. I've always been an OCD perfectionist. I've always been OCD. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna do it very good. And I've always liked to be standout.
G'day.
And I've always been competitive. I always like to be stand out. Okay, if I do something, I want it to be as good as I can possibly do.
Can I share one thing?
Absolutely.
That you do?
Absolutely.
So in the consult rooms, what Dr. Ben loves to do is he gets all his tools and his instruments, and he likes to have them nice and organized in a structure and format. Whereas, if you leave it with me, if it's there on the table, it's there on the table.
Yeah. Organized chaos, huh?
Yeah. I'm chaos. You're just organized. OCD kicks in.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, they say.
Can't describe it any better than that. So that's really good.
Oh my God. Love it.
Now, you've done a talk about earlier this year. I believe it was with a doctor called Dr. Marcus. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Could you share a bit more about the research that you put behind your talk? Because I believe you wrote a really nice research article on that. Yeah. And I'd love for that to share and just educate everyone.
Yep, absolutely. So I was invited to speak at a chiropractic summit. Okay, it's called the Subluxation Revolution online. And my talk was
Revolution.
on, I know, yes, healthcare revolution. It's coming. Okay, so if you want to get into it, get chiropractic. But it's pretty much summarizing the latest neuroscience research breakthroughs when it comes to spine disorders, spine dysfunction, subluxation. And I did a really good review of the latest evidence-based studies that support what chiropractors do and why from a neuroscience perspective.
If you could summarize it in simple terms so I can understand, please.
Whoa. All right. Well, the easiest way to explain it is you can see a chiropractor for more than just back pain, neck pain, and headaches. So there's 1,000 benefits to getting adjusted. And when a chiropractor adjusts your spine, what happens is it actually changes the way your brain and your nervous system functions.
And that's a big thing that's missed a lot these days, Sometimes we get put into a category of just back pain, neck pain. But when people start to realize that your spine is actually protecting your spinal cord, and your spinal cord is what's connecting to your brain. Yeah. And your brain's like your computer, and chiropractors are working on the spine. All of a sudden now, you put a link directly together with the nervous system and chiropractic. And chiropractic starts to make big changes to the nervous system. No need to go more complicated than that.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Yeah.
But chiropractic is simple. That's the thing about it. It's simple the way it works. I mean, the way the body works, if I was to, explain it, or if I'd fill this room 1,000 times in textbooks, the way, physiology, anatomy, and the way it works. But the application of chiropractic is simple, is, we remove interference so the body, which is the true doctor, can do the healing. Mother Nature can do the healing for us.
And just do it naturally. Yeah.
Love it.
Without having to rely on any sort of outside sources to look after it.
That's right.
So, I guess, if there's any success stories that you really wanted to share, since working here of the last 3 years. It doesn't feel like 3 years.
It's gone fast. Don't blink, right?
No, you don't
time
get it,
flies
man.
when you're having fun.
I used to have hair 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was looking at a photo of us a few years back. We were all so young and baby-faced, huh?
I was like, whole different man. Yeah. So, what would be like, if there was one success story that you would have, since working here, someone's life that you changed, who would it be?
I'm going to mention one name, and I'm sure she's going to be happy for me to mention her, but it's Leonie Taylor. So, would you like me to share a summary of Leonie Taylor's story? So, this is one of the thousands of successful stories I've had. I mean, everyone in its own right is a successful story to some degree, wouldn't you say? Most people have, I'd say at least 99% of people have some sort of positive change with chiropractic.
Yeah.
But with Leonie, it was she was quite particular when she came in. She had a lot of chronic low back pain, ongoing for years and years. And she was someone who has tried everything under the sun. So massage, medications, pills, potions. Went down the rehab route, the physio route, didn't work for her. And like most people, was willing to give chiropractic a try as a last resort.
Yeah. We see that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, it's just the way it is, And so she comes in, and we did an exam, and we confirmed that, hey, this is something we can help with. You have subluxation in your spine. You have dysfunction causing these issues. Yeah, and this has been going on for longer than you think. 20, 30 years of deconditioning and breakdown. Okay, which is surprising to a lot of people. Pain's the tip of the iceberg, but underneath there's been a sequelae, a build-up of problems over time.
That just happened to go unnoticed or missed until the pain starts to show up at the end.
Yeah. So with Leonie, we did the day 1, okay, awesome comprehensive exam. Day 2, report of findings, and we got her and her husband Chris in for the report, and that's where we explained all our recommendations. What the problem is, what our recommendations are for care, and how long, how much this sort of problem will take.
Yeah.
And so we went through that. She understood it all, and she said, "You know what? I've got nothing to lose. Let's get this process started." She took that leap of faith, and you know what? After her first adjustment, big miracle. She loved gardening, right? And she couldn't garden. She couldn't walk properly. Couldn't really even bend over and lift things. So I was on my lunch break. I did a report of findings just before lunch. Went on my lunch break, and I was on my lunch break doing my thing, and she calls me. And I answer the phone like, "Hey, Leonie, what's up?" And she goes, "Dr. Ben, you won't believe this. I'm in the garden gardening after the first adjustment."
Crazy.
She was amazed. And I was so happy for her. At the same time, I was like, "Hey, Leonie, take it easy, okay? It's going to take more than one adjustment for you to start, powering on again." But that's a remarkable change after one adjustment. So from there on, it was onwards and upwards for her. Now, it wasn't always an easy road, It was like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Okay? But we guided her through that like we do most people. And at the end of the day, the power that made the body heals the body. She is now in what we call wellness care, getting adjusted regularly, and we just love seeing her here.
Well, I think that's a great way to wrap things up. And I think we should just finish off with any last closing comments that you'd like to mention, Dr. Ben.
I have that many quotes that I would like to say right now, but I'm going to keep it short and simple. Chiropractic, it's God's gift to humanity.
God's gift to humanity. I love it.
I'm not even religious, but I think it's a powerful quote.
No, that's fine, man. Yeah, there's always a power. If there is a greater being out there, there's a greater being out there. If there isn't, that's fine too.
Universal intelligence, yeah.
One thing you can't deny is that your body's this amazing intelligence that knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
If you get cuts or bruises, it heals it. If you get sick, it heals itself. It's got this amazing ability. So thank you so much for coming and having us on board.
Thanks,
All
Dr.
right.
Oz. Appreciate it.
You have a lovely day, yeah?
Thank you, sir.
Sweet.